New York Rangers captain Jacob Trouba has had quite the disappointing season, and especially as of late has not looked great at all. I know he has just gotten back recently from an injury. He's only played 2 games since returning. This Pittsburgh Penguins game was his second game back from the injury, but still, he needs to be better. I mean, he's a captain of this team. He's a guy who the Rangers traded for and obviously paid him to be a top pairing kind of guy, or at least, a really good number 3, for example, but obviously he has just not been anywhere near that level, and he has not ever really been that since coming over to the Rangers. Since we traded for him, it just has not happened. And in this game here, you take a look at that first goal there, he's honestly kind of looking like Zach Wilson there, throwing up a pick 6. I mean, right off that turnover, they come down and score pretty much right away. So I think, Trouba making $8 million, being the captain, he just has to be better. And at this point, I'm not asking him to be a top pairing guy or even a top 3 kind of D-man on this team. I'm asking him to be a not complete liability out there at times, which he has been. And I'm not saying every single game he has been a complete liability, which that would be a false statement. He's not completely terrible that maybe some Rangers fans like to kind of think he is every single game, but let's be honest here, he has been quite bad and obviously is nowhere near worth that $8 million, but at times he definitely can be, a decent D-man, but sometimes he definitely has his games, kind of like this one against the Penguins here, where he has been quite terrible, and you just got to see something better out of your captain who's making $8 million, especially going into the playoffs here. This is a team who's kind of in win-now mode right now. Panarin is not getting any younger. Kreider, Zibanejad, they're not getting any younger. Igor is honestly, starting to get up into his later 20s now as well. This window is now. It's now in the next couple of years as well. So having a guy like Trouba making $8 million really kind of holds this team back. So he's got to step up his game big time for the Rangers here if we want to truly win a Stanley Cup. And taking a look here at a quote from Peter Laviolette post-game after that 5-2 loss to the Pittsburgh Penguins, talking about Jacob Trouba here, he says, "Listen, somebody comes back from injuries, it takes a minute. It's happened to just about every player. I have no doubt in my mind that when it comes time for the playoffs and we need Warriors on the ice, that he'll be there in full force." And, honestly, I've kind of said a little bit of this in the past where I do think Trouba's game is kind of something that can translate to the playoffs quite nicely. Now, obviously, when he's being a liability out there defensively, that doesn't translate very well. But what I'm trying to say here is basically, his physicality, his fighting, his hitting, his ability to sacrifice his body to block shots, his leadership at times, that definitely is something that is nice to have in the playoffs. You want these kind of guys when they're on the ice, so the other team is a bit worried that, if you have your head down, Trouba could come by you and just muck you, right? He could come by and just destroy you. So Trouba's a guy on the ice who can be a force out there. He can be that warrior out there at times, but obviously he definitely can be a bad defensive defenseman out there as well, right? He can also be pretty terrible in his own zone. So there obviously are some things that, will translate potentially like that physicality, but he also has to be better in the defensive zone. I mean, he can hit everyone he wants. He can fight everyone he wants. But if he's not playing good defensively, none of that really matters. So obviously, he's just got to be better in general. And come playoff time, we just have to hope as Rangers fans that he will turn things around and be a much better player. And taking a look here at another post on X here from Vince Mercagliano, who's obviously a great New York Rangers reporter. So if you haven't already, I definitely would suggest going to give him a follow. But taking a look here, he says, Trouba was hard on himself in the locker room. Obviously, the post 5-2 loss to the Penguins. Said first goal was, quote, not on anybody but me, and I've got to be better. Added that he's doing things that are, quote, holding the team back since my coming back, but believes they're easily fixable. And I'm not quite sure they're necessarily easily fixable, but I do think that maybe switching up the D pairs a bit and going with a second D pair of Miller and Schneider, and then have that third D pair be Jones and Trouba. Maybe that works a bit better. And the D pair of Miller and Schneider is actually the 4th most used D pair on the Rangers so far this season with 235 minutes played together. And when they happen together, I think they actually have been pretty good as well. So maybe that could work out pretty well for the Rangers there, putting them together on that second D pair. The top one obviously stays the same with Lindgren and Fox. And you have on that third D pair there, Jones and Trouba. Maybe that could work out well. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I think that's just an option, though. And we definitely need to switch things up, though. We can't keep running it back. I mean, maybe he does, and maybe things turn around. But I think switching things up there, putting Miller and Schneider together, who have been pretty good, and then having a third D pair of Jones and Trouba could work out pretty well, or at least be a bit better than what we've seen from Miller and Trouba together. I mean, it could be fairly beneficial for both Miller and Trouba to kind of get split up there. Maybe we see, Miller take a big step in his game as well, possibly. So hopefully we do see a bit of a switch up. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please smash the like button. Don't forget to comment down below your thoughts on Jacob Trouba. Who do you want to see him paired with? Do you want to see, like what I said of being, Jacob Trouba and Zach Jones in that third D pair with Miller and Schneider together? Do you want to see something else? Let me know what you guys want to see for the D pairs. And if you're interested, definitely smash that subscribe button for daily New York Rangers content. And also, if you want, definitely go check out my Twitter or X, linked in the description. It's called Trainer Sports. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next one. See ya.